Let's go to Talanta. Drive 12 kilometers west of Kasarani. Past the Department of Defense headquarters, to Jamhuri grounds on the eastern edge of central Nairobi. A 45-hectare site that until early 2024 was open grass, Kenya's annual military parade ground. On March 1, 2024, President William Ruto stood here and broke ground.
We are calling this the Talanta Sports City, and Your Excellency, because we intend to develop this place into more than just a stadium. Again, under the FIFA requirements, we have been very particular in terms of dimensions, the quality.
3 years later, this is what stands in its place. 60,000 seats, 56 meters tall at its highest point, parking for 3,000 vehicles, 8 monumental gates corresponding to the 8 diamond pattern shields built into the facade, each shield modeled directly on the traditional Maasai warrior's shield, finished with the spear-tip decorative crests of the Kenyan coat of arms. 1 shield per gate. Step back far enough and the whole building reads like a Maasai warrior's shield laid on its side. Let's now walk inside. The auditorium is split into 3 vertical tiers, fully canopied. The seats themselves come in the 3 colors of the Kenyan flag, black, red, and green, arranged in mosaic patterns across the bowl so that even when the stadium is empty, it reads as the national flag from any television camera angle. Look at the roof. That entire canopy is held up by a network of steel strongholds, lightweight tensile truss work spanning the entire bowl without a single internal column. Stand on the catwalk above the upper tier and you can see the engineering complexity in full. Every meter of steel was calculated to carry wind load and the weight of the LED screens, sound array, and floodlight banks suspended underneath. Inside the bowl, look up at the southern gable. 2 of the large format LED screens among the more prominent stadium display systems in East Africa are already mounted, including a center-hung scoreboard visible from every seat. Matchday audio runs through a fully suspended line array sound system. Walk the upper concourse and you'll see the individual speaker arrays clustered every 20 meters along the catwalk. The main playing pitch is a hybrid turf system. Natural grass woven with roughly 20 million synthetic polypropylene fibers stitched into the soil. The same hybrid turf system, similar to those used at Real Madrid's Santiago Bernabeu and Wembley Stadium in London. The fibers hold the natural root structure in place, meaning a pitch that can be played on twice a week without falling apart by the second match. Look at the surface today. The grass is still growing in. Above the playing area, 52 executive skyboxes ring the upper tier. At the time of construction, that number exceeds the hospitality suite count of any other completed venue on the AFCON 2027 list across all 3 host countries. The player tunnels are over here. Wide enough to accommodate full broadcast camera, follows during the player walkout, and look up from the center circle. The roof opens to an oculus at the apex of the canopy, letting natural light flood the pitch during day matches while the side panels keep the wind off. Step outside the bowl. The exterior is a sequence of paved walkways and landscaped greenery. Modern pathways with green vegetation lining both sides. A massive outdoor LED screen for fan zone viewing. The complex includes 2 full-size training pitches outside the main bowl, plus a 3rd pitch with an attached athletics running track. Notice that the main bowl itself has no internal running track. Talanta was deliberately designed as a football-first stadium, with athletics and rugby moved to the surrounding fields. That design choice puts the front row of seating directly against the touchline, the way the best football venues in Europe are built, making Talanta the largest and most expensive single-purpose football stadium in East Africa. Solar-powered lighting columns line the exterior pathways. The entire site is powered partially by rooftop solar arrays and an underground rainwater harvesting system that captures storm runoff and feeds it back into pitch irrigation. Let's put Talanta in continental context. At 60,000 seats, it joins an elite tier of African mega-venues. The capacity puts it on par with Cameroon's Olembe Stadium and Ivory Coast's Stade Olympique de Bimpe, while easily surpassing Senegal's 50,000-seat Diamniadio. Only a few historic giants, like Johannesburg's Soccer City at 94,000, Borg El Arab at 86,000, Kinshasa's Stade de Martyr at 80,000, and Cairo International at 75,000, just to name a few, sit above it. Financially, Talanta's $345 million price tag makes it one of the most expensive stadium ever built in East Africa. Per seat, Talanta works out to roughly $5,750 per seat, among the most expensive new African builds per seat. For comparison, Soccer City in Johannesburg cost roughly $4,750 per seat when it was upgraded for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Now, the controversy. The cost did not stay where it started. The original 2024 contract figure was 35 billion Kenyan shillings, roughly $270 million. By February 2026, the Auditor General of Kenya identified an 11 billion shilling cost variance, about $84 million, added through import duties, value-added tax, and railway development levies that weren't in the original contract. The funding side is its own story. Talanta is funded through a 44.79 billion shilling infrastructure-backed bond, Lindsay Finco 003, listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange in July 2025. The bond carries a 15.04% internal rate of return over 15 years. Repayments are structured against the future revenue of the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund. The bond is repaid over 15 years from a portion of Kenya's national betting tax revenue. Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has publicly projected that with interest, the total repayment will cross 100 billion shillings by the time the bond matures in 2040, more than double the bond's face value. Whether Talanta becomes a sustainable East African football hub or a long-term maintenance burden depends on what happens after the AFCON final in July 2027.